good evening, and welcome to my end of the week recap here for Apple and plan ahead for next week. And it's been a while since I've had the pleasure of being able to participate in a power trend with Apple, and it's very nice to be able to catch some of these moves and capitalize on that. What do I mean by a power trend? Simply a very, very strong move up that basically never stops. I mean, even towards the end of the day, it was doing nothing but consolidation. Now, you can't argue since at about 10:40, 10:45, the trend did possibly end. But as I said, simply consolidation and no real heavy selling that pushed it back down, not even to the VWAP even one time on the day. So anyways, going forward, if you remember from my previous video, I did get out half of these 195 calls here at 193. Initial entry was way back here at 107. So even up to this point, it was a very, very nice trade. Thursday did absolutely nothing, just let everything sit. Now on the open, the first 3 5-minute candles right here, fourth one pushed up very, very strongly, started consolidating, saw a little bit of a pullback and wanted to go ahead and give it a shot at chasing it. Got in some 180 calls here, weekly calls at 118. Price action pushed up, expected it to at least test this previous all-time high around 182 and a half, 182.25. So I took half off there at 210. Broke above, saw some massive volume coming in, looked like sellers hitting the tape, so I did take a quarter of them off, or excuse me, half of the remainder off here at 255. That position actually closed out over here once it started to roll back over. I got out at 323. So overall, very, very nice trade there. Took off the remainder, well, almost the remainder of this 195 call here at 370. I do still have a couple of them. I don't know why I put half on there, but holding a very small position in those for continuation into Monday. Later on in the day, did take some, excuse me, 185 weekly calls here as a lotto, in at 10 cents out of 16, nothing huge, but just felt like I needed to mention it. And then on this flag break right here, you can see this little pennant that's drawn. There's a lot of notes on here, so I apologize about that. I did get into some 22 June 200 calls at 56. I don't know if they're going to go in the money before they expire. This is simply a play on volatility for it to spike up. If it does gap up and continue off of this overall bull flag, should have a nice move higher. Go to my trade plan here for Monday. As you can see, still valid as a bull flag. Overall flag pull up from the low of the day, 178.20, to the high, gives a price target of about 190. That is if we do get volume coming up above this level. I also have some Fibonacci levels drawn on here based on the weekly candle. This is a very, very tall, huge extending candle that's completely engulfed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, about a half a year. I mean, this whole week has engulfed almost a half a year of price action. I mean, that's extremely strong. It could be a top, could be a blow off top type of position, but since I'm basically a perma bull, I'm going to stay on that side of the trade and look for continuation higher. Anytime I do have Fibonacci's, I want to look for the 23% line down here to hold, 38% and 50%. Below that, I'm a little bit hesitant to take any longer term trades. Now, right now, if it does pull back, I'll be looking at 177.5 calls here to 180 calls about 2 weeks out. Next level down, somewhere between here and 38 and a 50% line, I'll be looking at 172.5 calls. Down here, I will look at 170 calls, but the price target would be up here around the high of the day. So right now, there's a lot of levels on my chart. Hopefully, it's going to be an ideal move on a continuation higher above this flag, and we'll see some very nice gains going into next week. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Have a good weekend and good luck.